think I am an appropriate message for review. Chats will. Hi everybody. I'm on. I'm signed on. Let me make sure everything is set before we keep going. Move this over here, maybe. That there. Chat message will be flagged. Can see and hear you. Nice. People coming by. Turn on. Hold. Turn forward. See and hear you. Nice. Chat message will be flagged to chat for your mind. Not now. I think we are good. We are all set and we are live. Yo, hey Andy. Yorsa. Nashawan, I can see and hear you. Nice. Can everybody hear me all right? I hope. Hi, good morning. Nice. I can do that little behind the scenes of an Instagram photo going live right now. Next, going live on YouTube right now. Putting an Instagram photo up. Come say hi. Okay, share. All right, I'm here. The live seems okay. Hi world. Hey Risky, Mojo, Jim is here. Happy to be here. Barrett is here. Tulis is here. Roberto is here. Hi from Spain. Hola. All right, let's wait 1 or 2 more minutes just to make sure everybody is coming in. This is my first live stream, so just bear with me. I have no idea what to expect. I know I've been told that this goes quickly as far as the questions go, as far as the messages go, so we'll wing it. I am reporting live from my Airbnb in San Diego, California. I know I watched a few of the live chats or live Q&As, and people always get those crazy balloons, that says 100K or whatever. And so I couldn't find any of those. So I went to a nearby house and I sold one of these graduation balloons. Class of 2018, which I guess you can consider me class of 2018 for making it into 100K. So, and I also made a nice sign for you guys, 100K. Thank you. I don't know if you can see that. So we are live. Hi from Egypt. Hi from Abu Dhabi. Hey, Christian. Oh, man, this is amazing. Hello from Germany. Hello. Welcome from Russia. James, congratulations. Thank you. It's 5 p.m. in the UK. All right. Hello from Austria. All right. Hello, Anna. What makes you do this, Gareth? I saw this a few different times. People doing live feeds and live Q&A, so I wanted to test it out. My buddy Brendan Vanson did one. I know probably Mike Corey did one, and some other friends. So I figure, why not try it out and see how it goes? So this is just going live is something I wanted to test out, something different for me, and I'm always interested in testing out new things. So I guess let's jump into it. We have some people on now. Messages are rolling in. Hi from Portugal. Awesome. I'm great. Thank you. Christina, Bosnia. This is amazing. Just passing through. Tell everyone you're awesome. Thank you so much. That's so great. All right. So what I did was I wrote down a few questions at the beginning. Is that going to be loud? Should I shut that window? No, we'll be all right. So I wrote down a few questions that you guys had sent to me via Instagram DMs, via YouTube comments and things like that. So I figured I'd start going through some of those, and that way gives you an idea. If you do have a question at all, put it in the comments here, and also throw maybe an emoji. Let's say throw a unicorn emoji in there if that's possible. And I'm not sure if that's possible with YouTube, but try a set emoji. Let's try a unicorn emoji. Put that into your comments so I know it's a question, and then I can search through and make sure I answer it. Favorite things to do in Tokyo? Do you work on vacation? How? Do I work out on vacation? Okay, so we got a bunch of questions coming in. Hold off on those real quick if you can, or you can fire them away and I'll try to sort through. But a few, I figured I'd go through some of the most basic questions that I received right away. This is very interesting, just talking to a computer. But yeah, so the number one question I always get, and I figured I would answer this to start things off, is what are my favorite countries? Being Jake asked, also Introverted Irishman asked, as well as a bunch of other people in the last few days, what country do I enjoy most? And you ask any traveler or anybody that's been doing this for a while, or traveled to a lot of places, and it's so hard to say one place. And that's usually the answer. You know, it's so hard to say one place. Everything is we love for different reasons. But I definitely can pick out a few that really touched home and that I really love. And yeah, so I can just give you a few of those. So to me, it's Colombia. I love Colombia. The people there, just like the Philippines, it really, to me, it was the people that I fell in love with. I spent a lot of time, spent a year in Brazil. So I love Brazil, all different aspects, from the Amazon in the north to Porto Alegre, all the way to Florianopolis and Rio and Belo Horizonte, and a lot of these places in the middle of the country. In Brasilia, I even really love. So it's a beautiful country with such a diverse landscape, and I love Brazil. Japan more recently, as you guys obviously see from all the Japan videos coming out, that's been a very interesting country for me recently. I fell in love with the fact that I am so completely lost there. It's such an amazing and polarizing place. So Japan, Portugal, actually, I fell in love with quickly, and a lot of it comes down to the language. So I love speaking Portuguese and working on it and trying to get better, and also my Spanish. So Portugal was another big place for me. And then recently, the Philippines. The Philippines was such a cool destination. So many different islands. The people are the friendliest I have come across since Colombia, and a truly amazing, amazing place. So, but again, it's hard to say. Favorite cities, I love Istanbul, I love Rio, I love Tokyo. Yeah, there's too many to name and pick a favorite place, but I just want to give you guys some. All right, so let's get into some of these. Will you visit Russia? Chris Brownlee, 86, says, will you visit Russia? Yes, actually. The goal is to visit Russia very soon. Just working on the details of that trip. I don't like coming out and saying I'm going to go somewhere unless I'm 100% certain. So Russia is actually a possibility come September. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's see what's going to be the next spot to explore. All right, so all right, yes, unicorns do work. That's a great thing. Do you work out on vacation, and how? Yeah, so I want to do a whole video about exercise and staying fit when you travel, but the truth is I haven't found a good way to do it without looking like what's the best word, douchebag, you know, just going around and having my shirt off and lifting weights and things like that. I want to do it in a way that actually is helpful and not just, hey, look at me. So when I find a good way to create that video in a helpful sense and going through, so I want to go through some of the different workout routines that I do when I'm away, and also my eating habits and things like that. It's definitely a popular question. So I will have a complete video about working out or staying fit while traveling. So the short answer is yes. Yes, I do. Let's see. I see the other places you visit. Thanks, Jane. It is possible. Thanks, Lois. I'm from Portugal, Seattle. All right, let's see if we can get some of these. What's going to be the next spot to explore? Nicholas says this. I am thinking, so I will be here in the U.S. for the coming months. I'll be here until probably August, if not September. I'm trying to do the entire Iceland series for you guys that I did back in November with Backpacker Steve, and also do the entire Philippines series, which will be about 20 episodes. So I'm working to get all those laid out right now so I can start editing those and deliver those to you guys. So what's coming in September is hopefully, as I slightly mentioned before, is hopefully Russia. That's big on the list. We're going to try to do a Trans-Siberian Railroad from one side of the country to the other. And then in the winter, I'm actually thinking about going back to Argentina for a hike with my mother, who was just out here in San Diego, and we were talking about it, and we've wanted to do a trip for a long time. So Argentina, and then a lot of Europe. I haven't done anything in Eastern Europe, so that's the goal for the fall. and hopefully to actually Iran is a big one. India is very high on my list. Morocco, all of Africa. I have never stepped foot on the continent of Africa, which I'm embarrassed about, but hopefully I can do that this year as well. So it's cruelties. What job do you recommend for someone who wants to uproot from Manila to move to Siargao? Nico. Nico, I love Siargao. That was one of my favorite spots along the trip. What jobs would you recommend? So in Siargao right now, there's a huge demand at the hostels, the resorts, and those places because it's becoming such a popular destination, such a cool surf destination. So I would say, unless you have a set skill or trade, try to get into some of the places like the Kermits or the Bravos or some of these places that have a ton of people coming in and out, and try to get a job with one of them. Unless you're a surfer, then go do some surf lessons or things like that. Join up with the Sun Crew, which is an amazing organization that cleans up trash on the beach, and there'll be an entire video coming from that. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities in Siargao right now. If you're an investment person, I would highly recommend that you invest in Siargao. In the north especially, it's just booming. Hopefully they do not turn into the next Boracay, which maybe you guys know or don't know, but Boracay is an island in the Philippines who got very popular with tourists, and they actually closed it down recently. I believe they're closing down half and trying to restore the island, and then they're going to close down the other half and to try to repair this island that has just become overrun with tourism. So yeah. All right, let's keep moving. How rich are you being able to travel for so long? Great question. I am actually not rich at all, as you can tell from my my humble apartment here. I actually made a video about how I make money. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out. World Master 123. So no, I'm not rich at all. I saved a little bit of money when I was back working for another company, and then I left actually with $5,000 to my name to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and then started making money at a local job. I was bartending some, and then I started making money from the travel blog and selling ads and things like that. But I jump into that a lot more over on the YouTube video called How I Make Money. So check that out. In between Thailand and Europe, which one do you recommend? Gabby Garcia, that's just apples and oranges, two totally different places. Thailand is incredible and cheap and beautiful beaches, lots of backpackers, but it's a really cool spot, lots of culture. And Europe has so many different destinations in it. You can also find beaches to the south, in south of France or Italy or Malta, some of these places, or even Eastern Europe. You can do Albania, Croatia. But I say, yeah, two completely different things. Depends what you're looking for. If you want more history and more European culture, obviously you go to Europe. But if you want beaches and sun and cheap food and spicy food and really tropical islands type of environment, then that's what I would recommend. Let's keep going. Should we explore the Balkans? I would love to explore the Balkans. That is very high on my list. Eastern Europe is very high on my list right now. Let's go back up a little bit. I can get lost in these. This is in the country. What's your job? All right, let's go down. Thank you. Amui, do I say that right? I hope so. Plan party. Do you plan to visit Pakistan in the near future, especially its northern areas? And I saw another question here from the Middle East. Yes, like I said before, Iran is very high on my list. I would like to do that this year. I've heard nothing but great things about the people there. Backpacker Steve, again, the guy that I went to Iceland with this past year, he has been there and he just raves about it. So I would love to do more of the Middle East. I honestly, the only place I've been to in the Middle East was Dubai for a quick layover, and it was way too short of a time. So I would love to explore more. Just no set plans just yet. Maybe after Russia, that would be great. All right. Noah asks, your team consists of how many people? How many people do you travel with? It's always the same team. This is the team. You're looking at it. It is always me. I do this all by myself. I'm in the process now of trying to find some good editors and also someone to manage the travel blog and to do more writing. So yeah, this is the team. It is just me. I edit, create, do everything that you see on my own. So hopefully soon we'll bring in some more people. That's the goal. Anyway, this next coming months. Andy asks, do you ever, Andy Zawitsky, do I say that right? I hope so. Do you ever get lonely traveling alone? Not trying to sound weird. No, that's not weird at all. That is a completely legitimate question. And a lot of people ask that. And the truth is, yes, absolutely. When I first started, I think the excitement of being on the road and meeting new people and everything like that, you tend to not be lonely because there's just constant stimulation and you're constantly trying to make new friends and constantly out exploring. But the truth is, when you get home from a long day, or you've had a couple of days where you don't meet anyone, or the language is difficult and you're trying to learn, you come home and definitely feel completely alone. I remember the first time in Argentina, I would come home every night because I would limit myself from speaking English to anyone. So I would come home at night and just break down. I would just say, what am I doing? I would have migraines. I was bartending 5 or 6 nights a week, and everyone that I worked with only spoke Spanish. So looking back, it was one of the best things I've ever done as far as learning the language and really immersing myself. But the truth is, in that day-to-day, you feel very alone. And how I deal with it is pushing myself out there further and trying to make new friends. And then also I connect with home. I call home a lot, and I have a great group of friends at home that I can call anytime, and a mother and sister and brother and I can father, and I can call anybody anytime. So yeah, but it's definitely something that is real. Do you have any plans to visit Pakistan yet? Do you team with me? What's your feeling when you visit a country where the language is completely different? All right, so this is another popular question, is what is the most difficult thing about traveling? And it ties into this question as well, Christina. The language is 100% the biggest obstacle for me when I travel. And if you are traveling just for a short period of time, or just going to a resort or hanging out with other backpackers, it's probably not that big of a deal. But the way I travel and the way I try to immerse myself, it can be very, very difficult. I try to learn Spanish, and I've been living in Latin America for the first 5 years of this experience, of this experiment, I should say, of traveling full time. And so I picked up, my Spanish is pretty good. And then I started learning Portuguese when I lived in Brazil. So my Portuguese is improving. But yeah, it's so places like Japan and things like that, where you try to have a deeper connection with people. 100% the language is the hardest thing, because you want to be able to go into these small towns and have conversations with locals and understand the true culture and traditions of these people. And the best way to do that is through conversation. So yeah, that is definitely the biggest obstacle. And there's a lot of ways around that. So I'll actually make a video about learning languages, because I think that's really important. But I use a bunch of different tools. Actually, the biggest thing that I do is I really like to take language learning classes while I'm in the country. I feel that helps me the most. I don't do a good job with apps or anything like that beforehand, because I'm not using it. So when I go to a place, I like to take a class actually on premises or in location, and then I can use it while I'm there. So I can leave class and immediately go to the store and ask for bread, or get a drink or something like that. So that's the most helpful for me. But I will make another video about language learning that is all about the different apps you can use. Duolingo is a great app that's free. Fluent in 3 months by my friend Benny Lewis. That's an amazing program. So I'll make sure I do a full video about that as well, because I think that's huge. Are you gay? Are you in a relationship at the moment? I'll field that one. To sum it up, no, I'm not gay. And as far as the relationships goes, I'll answer that shortly. Richie, treasure hunt. Any plans of going to the Middle East? Christian, I hope that answered your question. Yes, a lot of plans to go to the Middle East, just a matter of time. Have you ever been to Switzerland? Sabrina asks, I have. I went with my mother and my sister many, many years ago. We skied Zermatt for a family trip. One year, my mom saved up a bunch of money and was able to take us over there for a few days, but I would love to go back and explore more. I was just in northern Italy, which in the Dolomites area this past year, and it's just such a beautiful region. I'd love to do Austria and Switzerland and see more of that area as well. All right, Eunice asks, besides the jet lag, what other downfalls do you encounter while traveling? Jet lag is another interesting one for me. I think I have it down to a science. Two parts to my jet lag. One, I try to go to sleep in the local time where I would normally go to sleep. So let's say it's completely flipped and I arrive in Sydney and it's 8 a.m., which would be night, my time back home in New York, but I would attempt to stay up that entire day and go to bed in that local time. That's the first thing I try to do. The second thing is I try to get a sweat in no matter what. So if that's a run, a workout, playing basketball, whatever it may be, try to get a sweat in during the day. That kind of shocks my body into resetting. And three, drinking as much water as possible. I can't say it enough. When I travel, wherever I go, I have, knock on wood, haven't been sick in many, many years with all the traveling and all that. And I attribute that to the amount of water I drink, or at least somewhat. I mean, obviously lucky and I could get sick tomorrow, but drink a lot of water. That's my number one advice. Aloha from Hawaii. Hello. Let's hear some Portuguese, man. Valeu. Vamos falar português. No, we'll save that for another time, Andy. How can you travel for a living? This is amazing. Thank you, Jae-young Lee. Check out, again, if you guys are asking anything about how do I travel for a living, check out How I Make Money. That video is up on YouTube as well, so that would be awesome if you check that out. Let's see. Can I expect to publish a book? When, Eunice, good question. When can we expect you to publish a book? So this is a question that I get often as well, or I've received recently, is what's next for touristtotally.com? What's next for the blog now that you focus on video? And my goal is in the coming months is to create a guide, a long-term travel guide. I'm not something that might be useful to you guys. I polled my Instagram audience a few months ago about some things that they want to see from me, and creating a guide, a long-term travel guide, how to make money, how to leave your job, how to take the leap, the risks that are involved, visas, all those kind of things that go into going out and living your dream, whether it be traveling around the world for a year or going and getting a job in a foreign place. I want to create some sort of book to help you guys do that. And I want to change touristtotally.com from a personal blog into a resource for long-term travelers. So that's something that I'm working on right now. So it may not be a traditional book in that sense, but definitely a book that is a resource guide for you guys that want to live this life, that want to travel, and want to just really be adventurous and try something different than the 9-to-5 job. So while you're young, or if you're not young, whether you're just looking for a career change, hopefully I can give you guys some inspiration for that. All right, let's keep moving. Let's go. Aloha, Gareth. Thank you, big fat tip. I have been to Egypt. I have not. Like I said, I haven't been anywhere in the Middle East besides a quick layover in Dubai. It's very embarrassing. Let's keep going. And if I've skipped any of your questions, ask them again. I'm just going to scroll through here. I love this unicorn. This really helps a lot. This chat isn't weird enough for the internet. This chat, Tom, you're absolutely right. What can I do to make this weirder for the internet? Tom King says this chat isn't weird enough for the internet. Yeah, I got nothing for you, Tom. When you feel repressive, do you feel responsible to address some of the political or cultural issues? For example, Russia's repressive anti-LGBT. Okay. Good question. Hi from New Zealand. KCHA 237 asks, when you visit repressive regimes, do you feel responsibility to address some of the political and cultural issues? Whew. Great question. So my position on some of these issues is this. To address some of the issues would just be giving my own opinion. And even if I ask locals or get a side to a story from a local's perspective, it would be one perspective. And I've never been a big fan of just giving my opinion for opinion's sake. There's a lot of people on Facebook that'll do that at a moment's notice. I don't pretend to know everything about a certain situation, about a culture, about a place. That's why one of the big reasons why I started touristtoutony.com is that I saw online a lot of people. So this goes back. Well, this goes back to the bigger reasoning in my ethos for starting this site in total. So when I first started touristtoutony.com and I was thinking about concepts and I knew I wanted to travel slower, travel deeper, I would look around on the internet, and there wasn't many travel blogs at this time in 2009, but the ones that I did see, a lot of it came down to they would go to a place for a weekend or 2 or 3 days, and they would say, okay, this is what Argentina is like in a weekend. And maybe they didn't even talk to locals. Maybe they had a conversation with their taxi driver, and then they would give their opinion on what the country is like. So the entire reason why I go and I travel for a long period of time in one place is to get a true story about the country, and so that I can give some sort of educational opinion about the place. For example, if you go to Brazil and you only go to Rio de Janeiro and then you come back home and you tell everybody what Brazil is like, you're missing 99% of the country. So to circle back to your question about do I feel a responsibility, I do in some sense. If it ties into my own reasoning and very clear facts about what's going on, and I would actually like to do more of this, is to have more of a social stance, maybe not politically, but more social for those that are repressed or those that don't have their own voice. I would like to speak for them more, but to speak on an overall climate, culturally or politically, that's very difficult. And again, something that I avoid because I don't pretend to know everything that's going on in someone else's country, yet alone my own country at the moment. Hope that answers your question. Ever thought of traveling to Malaysia? It's lovely here. I should definitely come. Shuhufan, did I say that right? I hope I'm not butchering some of you guys' names. I really appreciate it. Have you ever thought about coming to Malaysia? Absolutely. My silly thought was that I would do Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia on this past trip. But again, I travel so slow that it takes me forever. So I will definitely be in Malaysia. It's just a matter of when. Montenegro, Croatia. Okay. Comes a freedom fighter wherever you go. These comments. Do you meet up in Chicago? I love Chicago, my favorite city in the United States. I will most definitely be there soon. Going to collaborate with other YouTubers like Joe, Mark Wiens, and Foodie. All right, if I could collaborate with other travel YouTubers, who would it be? Talking a lot. Sorry. How long have we been going here? 28 minutes. I hope this is not boring you guys. Give me a thumbs up or something if you want me to keep going. If I could travel with other YouTubers or collaborate. I actually did a video with Mark Wiens, Bangkok Street Food, one of my most popular videos. He is awesome, such a great guy, and he works really hard. He's just constantly putting out amazing and delicious content all the time. I can't say enough great things about Mark. The Food Ranger, Cup of TJ, I actually don't know who those guys are. I'm not really good in the YouTube space. I kind of stay in my own lane, but I definitely have friends in the space that I love to collaborate with. I think Mike Corey and I will be doing something later this year. I would love to collaborate more with, Casey Neistat is obviously someone that I really look up to. That would be cool to do a trip with him. Fun for Louis. He's one of the guys that started it. That would be interesting to meet and just to see how he travels. And some of those guys, I think, yeah, I'm okay. For me, the YouTube collaboration thing, and it's great for building your audience, no doubt about it. But to me, I don't want to say I'd rather, but I'd much rather collaborate with just regular local people. I mean, sometimes collaborating with other travel YouTubers can be difficult. So I love just traveling with real people that, not YouTubers aren't real people, but with regular local people that maybe aren't worried about getting the shot or setting up another camera. I don't like to go to a place with multiple cameras going on. To me, it lacks some authenticity, and it lacks some. I like being a little bit more under the radar, I guess you'd say. So if you come in with 3 or 4 people and you're doing a collab video and you're trying to street food or something like that, it's kind of annoying to try to do multiple things like that. Not to say that collaborations aren't great and a great way to grow your channel. Just my own thing. All right, the vids are too spicy for YouTube though, Tom. You're right. I know. I gotta figure out some kind of a balance. I should have hired some dancers or something behind me. I'm sorry, Tom. Faroe Islands is a nice place. Denmark, awesome. I'd love to go to both those. Coming to Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka. Your videos helped me a lot. Awesome, Daniel. I'm happy to hear that. Let's see if we can keep going. Travel for a living. I answered that. Have you visited Greece? Jovika asked, have I visited Greece? Yes, many years ago when I studied abroad in London, my junior year of college, of university, and I went to Greece for 10 days, and it was awesome. I had such an amazing time. It's a beautiful country. I absolutely love that place, and I will most definitely. I only went to Athens, Mykonos, Paros, and Santorini, and I just got a really small taste, a small peek into Greek culture, and it's one of my favorite places ever. So I will be back. January, need permission to shoot in temples. Catalina asks, I'm going to Japan in January. Do I need permission to shoot in temples? I actually don't. Outside of temples, you're okay. I don't shoot inside of temples unless you get permission. So yes, I would ask for permission, but otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't shoot in temples. I try to stay away from the religious places with your camera. What is the worst thing and good thing happen in a country? Doming C asks, what's the worst thing and good thing that happened in a country? The worst thing. I've been very lucky as far as I've never been robbed, really. I've only had a phone taken out of my hand once, knock on wood. Yeah, the worst thing is just kind of is seeing poverty. Really, that's the worst thing that I guess can happen anywhere, is to see poverty and see children in the streets. There's certain places around this world that poverty is a very, very big problem. Obviously, that's without being said, but yeah, it's seeing poverty is the worst thing for me, and especially children that are in the streets and they have no other choice but to be there. Their parents are there and things like that. So. And the best thing that happened in the country is every country I go to, every time I meet somebody, every time I try something new, every time I eat a new food, yeah, it's all good. It's all good things. Hi from Spain. Would you like to visit this country? Absolutely. The South is the best. Marga Martinez says, yes, Spain. I've only been to Barcelona very briefly when I was, again, studying in London. And it was a weekend, and I remember there was a booze cruise or a bar crawl or something, and that's all I remember from that trip. I remember going to see the Christopher Columbus statue, and then I remember seeing some of the parks and things like that, but I need to go back for sure. All right. Whoa, we just got a big rush of questions. Oh, I'm just scrolling through here, and here's some Portuguese. Oh, let's hear some Portuguese. Valeu. Learning local language is key. Absolutely. Any hobbies still keep up with? Yeah, that's another question people ask is, what are the things I like to do when I'm not traveling or during my downtime? And anything outdoors for me is heaven. Basketball has been my passion since I was a little kid. So that's been a really amazing skill to be able to take with me is I've been able to find the game in almost every single country that I've been to, from Bhutan to Turkey to Bolivia and everywhere in between, even in Japan. So yeah, that's my love and my passion is basketball for sure. Yeah, you come out with a magazine or book and pictures. Yes, I'd love to come out with a book with pictures of your travels. It's a good idea. Melissa Fiorentino asks, will you be traveling to Pike, New York this summer? You could do a great video about this area. Well, Melissa, that's a great question. So I work at a camp for kids, for disabled kids in Pike, New York every summer. Thank you, Melissa. It's called GVRC, Genesee Valley Rotary Camp, and it's an amazing organization that basically takes in disabled, mentally and physically handicapped kids from a very early age up until 21. And they have 1 week of the summer, which is an amazing social and just educational and just fun and dance and all this stuff. It's just an amazing week out of the summer. And yes, Melissa, I will hopefully be there for the entire week this year. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, man. Hope all is well. So Mark Gately is a guy I used to play basketball with, great basketball player. Hey, Mark, hope everything is going well. Been to the UK. Gary, yes, I've been in the UK. I studied abroad in London. Actually, I studied at Knightsbridge College for 1 semester, and then I was just in Ireland last year. Do I have a P.O. box? Not yet. I should get one. I've been asked that a couple of times. I know that there's a lot of people that do that mail time thing, so maybe I'll get a P.O. box so you guys can send some stuff. Never thought it necessary until now, so I'll definitely get a P.O. box. Which YouTubers? Good job. I think I answered that one. Inspire for Japan. Thank you. Tips for sleeping on planes. Amber asks, tips for sleeping on planes. I have an overnight flight tonight in the middle seat. Oh, middle seats. Yeah, I would say, Amber, the biggest tip I would get is try to switch that middle seat out for a window seat. But if you can't do that, how do I sleep on planes? That's such a tough question. Some people say drink wine or whiskey or take an Ambien. Or I don't take any pills. I also don't drink on planes just because I hate the feeling of being hungover when I wake up, still in the middle of a flight. So what I usually do is I try to get a little work done for about an hour or two. I watch a movie, then I eat something, and then I go to sleep. So if you can, try to stay up as long as you can, and then hopefully you'll crash. So what I tell people, so the start of this, let me back up. The start of this is sleeping on planes. The key to sleeping on planes for me is doing as much as possible during the day before you fly, before you go to the airport. I try to go to the airport completely exhausted if I know I have a long flight. So run around, be crazy. Do not sit. Do not just wait or watch TV before your flight. Try to go out and really exhaust yourself. That's my number one tip. Pacific Island. Tanner asks, have you any plans to visit Pacific Island swimming with whales in Tonga, native villages, and after the successful volcano Vanuatu? Did I say that right? Surfing in Fiji? Yes. After the trip to Hawaii and after the trip to the Philippines, I definitely want to explore more of those areas of the world. Absolutely. Surfing is a big thing that I'm trying to get better at. I'm a terrible surfer. But yeah, Tonga. I've been watching The Crown lately and saw some really interesting things from Tonga. I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah, I would love to get down there, Tanner. That's a big one on my bucket list for sure. Health insurance whenever you travel. Ernesto asked, do I buy health insurance whenever you travel? Yes, I do. I have a plan through Allianz, and they're a great organization, and they're actually a partner of mine, so I have a policy through them that I use. Are you a robot? No. Good question. I don't think I'm a robot. I don't understand that one. I'll just keep moving. When will you visit Portugal again? Hopefully sooner rather than later. I love that place. And somebody asked this, if I could live anywhere for the rest of my life, where would it be? And the U.S. is always my first answer, just because my family's here. But Portugal is very, very high on that list. I could definitely see myself living in Portugal, at least spending some of the year there. I love that place. MGS, Big Boss. That's an interesting question. Yeti asks, nice video that you make. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. I'm the traveling solo. Wish all the best. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that, Yeti. Have you had any scary, weird experiences in any country with all the different customs and religions? Have you ever accidentally offended anyone? Good question. Scary or weird experiences in any country. I think for me, it's always been a language thing, and it goes back to that. And that's not really scary or weird, but as far as offending anyone, I've just said the wrong things in the wrong place, and nothing too bad. For example, if you say coger in some Spanish-speaking countries, it means one thing, and in others it means something completely different. So small little things like that, but for the most part, I don't think I've weird or scary, definitely scary experiences. For example, a scary experience recently was diving at night in the Great Barrier Reef. I was getting my advanced diver certificate, And there's a video online as well. It's diving into Great Barrier Reef, and go night diving with, it was just myself and this other German guy who was also trying to get his advanced certificate. And we dove down through these sharks. They would bait these fish, so you could see they come up to the light, and they would throw some food in and feed these little fish, which essentially brought the bigger fish around. And so there'd be sharks circling the back of our boat, and it was just reef sharks, and there was some black tip sharks in there. But so we would dive down through these sharks and then down to the bottom of the ocean, and essentially it is pitch black down there, and it was just myself and this massive other German guy who was probably 6'4" and 250 pounds. And you've never seen two grown men just so close to each other. We were basically locking arms and just going through with our flashlights, and we would flash the light, and there's these giant trevallies, these black fish down there, and they would shoot up and take the smaller fish that they'd see with our flashlight. And it was so scary. So freaky. One other experience, I was in Ecuador at one point, and a woman ran up to me and said, "Will you help me? I'm being robbed. And there's two men that are coming around the corner, and they're going to rob me." And I thought, all right, this could be a setup, because it's often that women are involved in some kind of scams like this. So I thought, at first I was a little standoffish, and then I saw two guys come around the corner, and I thought, all right, so she's telling the truth. And she said, "Will you just walk me to my university?" And so I grabbed her hand, and we started walking, and then the guys came and started walking parallel to us. And at one point, I just thought we had to make a decision. We had to either face the fact that they were following us, or we could just acknowledge that they were there and see what they were going to do about it. So I grabbed her hand, and I stopped her, and I turned, and I looked at the guys, and I started walking towards them, and just to see what they would do. And both of them kind of stopped, and they were smaller guys, younger guys, and they kind of stopped, and they just thought, what's this guy doing? Why is he doing this? And the girl was grabbing my hand, telling me to come back the other way. And I just thought, you have to show them and show no fear. And that's the only way that these guys will leave us alone. So they ended up freezing for a moment, and then they took off around the back of a side street and left us to walk to school, and got her there safely. So the little things like that, but nothing big to this point, knock on wood. Hello, Shauna. Hello from Ireland. Bonjour. Thank you. Winnie Cooper, best advice for someone interested in starting a YouTube travel channel who is on the shy side. Whitney Cooper, great question. If you're looking, we're at 42 minutes. Just tell me when you guys want me to stop. I'll know. Just put up red X's or something, and I'll just stop talking. But Whitney, great question. The biggest thing I would recommend, I actually just made this video 2 weeks ago, the number one tip I would give to aspiring content creators, and that is, you just have to be willing to create something terrible. Just like this video, this live. I'm going to learn a lot from this live video chat, and I'm sure I'm messing up. I could have a better background. As Tom says, it could be a little bit wilder. You're going to learn a lot from the videos that you put up. So do not fear the things that you put up. At first, no one's going to watch anyway. And if you need to in the future, just delete them. But the truth is if you take a deep dive into my channel as well, there's some terrible stuff on there. Really bad content, bad audio, bad shots. Used to take the camera and just go like this. Oh, look at this place. You'll learn with time. So I think the biggest thing, and as I mentioned in this other video, is be willing to be terrible. Make something terrible. And then the next video you create, make it a little bit better than the last one. And then a little bit better, and a little bit better. And before you know it, you're going to make something that's not as terrible as it once was. So make something that sucks, and then try to make it suck a little bit less each time. And that's the best advice I can give, honestly, is just about creating, and do not worry if it's perfect or not. Because as I mentioned, is the enemy of creation is perfection, like the old saying goes. So the idea is to just create something that is not perfect and then build on it. For example, I try to add one new thing in every single video that I create, whether it's a transition, whether it's coloring. I try to just improve my videos every single time. And hopefully I'll get to a point one day where I'm really, really proud of them. And I'm still in that process. So I would highly recommend you just start putting stuff out there. It's a volume game on YouTube. I hope that helps. Nicholas, do you have any plans to do a US tour? It's more fun for you to explore the cultures around the world. I do want to do a U.S. tour. I do want to do a U.S. tour. There are a lot of national parks. Yosemite I haven't hit. Zion I haven't hit. Havasu I haven't hit. There's so many state and national parks. Let me say that correctly. So many state and national parks that I haven't been to that I am dying to get to. I've been to a lot of the cities in the U.S., fortunately. But yeah, I would love to do a U.S. tour soon. I will have a P.O. box. YouTube with Chris abroad. Have you ever thought of doing a YouTube video with Chris abroad from abroad in Japan next time you're there? Yes, I have actually reached out to Chris and a few other people. I love International Me. She's Angela, I believe her name is. Some other people there, and just honestly haven't heard back from a lot of these people that want to create or collaborate. So if you guys want to send them some messages, tell them, hey, you should collaborate with Gareth. That would be great. So yeah, just trying to get the word out. And I think some Japanese YouTubers do an amazing job. There's a few there that really capture a lot of the different cultural things. Utah obviously is one of my favorites. A guy that I did a few videos with, that Japanese man, Utah, he's really, really good. But yeah, I'm dying to create with a few others as well. Backpacker Steve says, hey man, just got up here in Bogota. Typical. Heading to Cali tomorrow. Any tips? Nice balloon. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you noticing the balloon. And I'm so jealous that you're in Colombia right now. Cali, yeah, the best tip I would say is just dance your little heart out, Steve. Go out there and just move it and shake it. Cali has some of the best salsa in the entire world. Get out there and show a video of you dancing salsa. That would be great. A nice German salsa dance. Veronica, if you have one, who was the favorite group of people you met in your travels? That's Veronica. That's an impossible question. Who is the favorite group of people I've met in your travels? Do you mean the actual group, or do you mean the culture, the type of people, or the nationality? If it's nationality, that's hard. I won't answer that. The most fun, Brazilians are a lot of fun. Latinos in general are a ton of fun. Filipinos are definitely the friendliest I've ever met. Japanese are the most polite. But as far as individual groups that I've met along the way, there's been so many. Two asks, what do you do when you get really sick abroad? Two asks, do you have an overseas health insurance? Yes, I do. And I haven't been really sick abroad just yet, so I wouldn't be good at answering that question. Who is your favorite? Listen, two eyes on it has. Who's your favorite blogger, YouTuber, and why? Honestly, I don't follow a lot. I don't watch a lot of YouTube content, if that makes sense, as far as other individuals. Just friends of mine that I love are, Mike Corey's great. Backpacker Steve, I love. Hopscotch the Globe is great. There's so many. Mark Wiens, as I said before, is awesome, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch. Stop Having a Boring Life, my buddy Rob, he's just hysterical. Casey Neistat is excellent. I listen to watch Gary Vaynerchuk sometimes when I'm in the need to be motivated, but I'm sure I'm missing so many. Courtney Scott, Ryan Van Duzer, Worldwide Nate, Michaela Malazzi, Barefoot Travels, she's one of the best. And then also I'm a big Vice fan. I love the Munchies. I love Noisy. A lot of these Vice shows, Vice Land, that's where most of my time goes when I'm watching videos online, because that's what I aspire to be and aspire to create. That and Anthony Bourdain that's my pinnacle. That's my number one. All right. Those who travel alone. All right, so this is a good one. Christina, are any tips for those like me who want to travel more and alone but are afraid to? I mean, I'm only 18. So, all right, so you're 18, so give it some time as well. But traveling alone, this is a question I get a lot. I'm going to cut this off pretty soon. So get your questions in if you have any. I feel like I didn't answer anything. I feel like I'm just talking. Hopefully this makes sense. But as far as traveling alone, and people ask, do I like traveling alone or with other people? And both have their benefits. Traveling alone, For me, for example, I always will try to connect with local people. And whether that is through social media, now, thankfully, with the YouTube channel and with the blog and things, I can connect a little bit easier. But I would say if you're going to a new place, I would highly recommend reaching out to local content creators in that place, whether it's an Instagrammer, a blogger, a YouTuber, and just ask if you can hang out for the day or if you can take them out for coffee. And another thing, the easiest way possible to meet people and not travel alone is by staying in hostels. And that's the number one thing I would recommend for those that want to travel alone but don't want to be alone. That is understandable. And that is go and travel in hostels. There's so many people you can meet when traveling in hostels. Everybody wants to meet someone. They're all young. They all understand that they're only there for a short period of time, so they want to experience as much as possible. So in hostels, you meet a ton of people. When I first started, that was the best way I met people. That, along with, I would try to get in basketball leagues, and I would meet friends through basketball. And also roommates. If you stay in a place for a long period of time, if you get Craigslist or a Facebook ad or something like that to get new roommates, local roommates is a great way to branch off and meet new people through their own friends. Hope that answers your question. Come to Russia. Thank you. I will most definitely be in Russia. How do you deal with loneliness? I think I answered that one. What's the most uncomfortable situation you have experienced during your travels? That is definitely the language and be able to speak language. I dated a girl once who didn't speak any English, and that was when I was just starting to learn Spanish. So that was an interesting combination. I would take her out to dinner, and then I would just ask her, do you know where the library is? And then I would just point to things and just say the color of those things that I knew in Spanish. So that was the most uncomfortable situation. Yeah, language is always the biggest obstacle, but once you know it and once you can communicate in the language, there's nothing better. Do you have, Yeti asked, do you have experience with pickpockets? Do you have any tips to avoid them? Yes, I actually want to make an entire video about this. Latin America, they are very good at pickpocketing, some places in Europe as well. And I'm sure Africa, because Drubinski and some other friends that have been there said, you got to be aware of the scams and all these other things. In the Middle East, in China, not everywhere, you have to be aware. But yeah, I have a whole video about this. So basically, for Latin America specifically, which I can speak on extensively, is to avoiding pickpockets is you don't flash that you have a lot of money, don't flash fancy watches, don't wear jewelry, just go out very basic, only take what you need. Like I said, I was in Rio on the beach one time and I took a photo with my iPhone, and a kid on a bike came up and just scooped it right out of my hand and just rode off on a bicycle. I chased him, which is a bad idea, but he went through traffic and then he disappeared. So that's the only thing I've ever had taken from me. But that's because I'm super paranoid. I always check to make sure I have everything on me. I put things in the front of my pockets. I keep my hands in my front of my pockets. I don't put anything expensive or valuable in my backpack behind me. I'll always wear it in front of me if I'm on any sort of public transportation as well. But I'll do a whole video about that. Great question. Andy mentioned meetups in possible countries. Would you be willing to do that? Absolutely. I want to do more meetups. I am dying to do that. It's just a matter of timing and all that stuff. But I will be sure to let you guys know when I do more meetups. Hopefully we can schedule that soon. I'm searching to keep all videos authenticity. Good perspective on keeping your videos authenticity. I don't understand what you say. Obrigado. Was the most embarrassing thing. Most embarrassing thing, again, not fumbling over languages. Actually, so let's keep going with a few of these. Let's see if we can. Have you been to Indonesia? Come to Indonesia. I have not. It's time to. Did you have the best time at Camp Nene? Yes. Also changing the other guys left. Thank you, Selena. Yes, I had a great time in Nene. Nene is an island from the Tao organization in the Philippines. Video about that is coming soon. I love it. I love you guys coming on here and having some inside jokes. It's awesome. Thanks for answering my questions. I love your videos. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Italy series made me miss living there. Oh, that's awesome. Miss bonfire, glitter party, typhoons, and roar. Hong Kong is safe. I know, Fernanda. I'm sorry. That's the only example that I have, and it was in Botafogo, but it could have happened anywhere. In Ecuador, there was a bunch of different opportunities on night buses and stories that I have. Bolivia as well, in Peru. Yeah, so don't be upset. That's the only experience that I have with it, that it was in Rio, Buenos Aires, obviously. All right, so I'm gonna answer a couple other questions that I really liked from Instagram. And if you guys have any more, let me know, but I'll wrap up pretty soon. Let me see okay, let's see what we got here. What city are you at now? I'm in San Diego, California right now. I'll be here for about a month more. How often do you see your mom? Because you're traveling all the time. I see my mom a few times a year. I am trying to balance my travels more, where I'm home a little bit more, or close to home at least half of the year, because with travel, it can be overwhelming. At first, I would travel 9 or 10 months of the year, and then I would only be home for a month or two for wedding season. But now I'm trying to balance a little bit more. I have nieces and nephews at home, and obviously my mother's at home. So yeah, I try to get home more often. Good question. Are pants cursed? I don't think are pants cursed. Great question, David. I don't think so. Okay, let me answer a few other questions. A lot of people ask. Let me get the most popular questions here, and things that I want to answer before I wrap this up here. 56 minutes. I'll get to the question: are you single? Some people ask that. On social media. Oh, here's a good one. This is from Mash Onward. Hopefully you're still watching. One of the questions I really like is how do you handle social media evils, developing a business without getting sucked in and making me feel alone, comparing myself, etc. So social media can be a beast, and those that are just starting out, or if you guys are on it, I have a few tips for that. And the number one thing that I do on social media when I'm just feeling overwhelmed, or I get overwhelmed at answering too many messages, or trying to respond, or trying to be present, or post something every day, I just step back. And you guys have seen this on Instagram. I've done this before. On YouTube, I've done it before, where I just step back and I won't upload, and I'll just be offline for at least a few days. I've gone offline for as much as a couple of weeks before. I think that helps me reset and me reignite my desire to create content. And I usually always come out of those withdrawals or detoxes with a new vision or a new goal, and I really jump back into the projects wholeheartedly versus just draining myself. That's a big thing too. I actually don't have any notifications on my phone set up, so I don't have YouTube comments or Instagram. The only thing I have is private text messages and phone calls as notifications. I don't even have emails. I check those once or twice a day. So that just limits the amount of attention that I need to give to people as far as being on other people's time. So I need big blocks of time. Actually, Casey Neistat did this in a great video about needing big blocks of time to create and to think and process and develop new videos, new content, new ideas, new business plans, things like that. So I am pretty good now at staying offline, and probably more so than a lot of my peers. And I know it would be more advantageous to me from a business standpoint to be online more and to post more and maybe do daily videos or post Instagram every day or twice a day. I know that's better for the brand, but for me personally, in order to do this for a long period of time, as I've done for 8 years, the biggest thing for me is to have moderation and to step away when I need to. So that's how I deal with that. And as showing by a hat, sure, as a shirt or hat, I'll buy one. Could it hashtag you? So I want to do merch really bad. I have some good ideas, I think, for different t-shirt designs and things like that. I haven't done it yet because economically it's not a great move. It takes a lot of work. You don't make a lot of money, but it is really cool to have. So I want to do t-shirts, but I want to do them differently. I don't want to just have my logo or my catchphrase. Travel deeper will probably be on some of them, but it's not going to be about me. I would like to have them be inspired by the places that I've gone. So hopefully I will have those soon as well. Those are something that's in the works. Get out here to Utah. Absolutely. I absolutely love your videos in Brazil. Makes me miss home. I miss Brazil as well. I liked, even don't even understand, follow your video. I would absolutely, Paolo, I would absolutely do a video with one of my followers. I have no, like I told you about the collaborations with other YouTubers. It doesn't matter to me if you have 1 million followers or if you have 5. If we gel well, if you have something to deliver as far as authenticity to a video or even just a local experience, I am definitely in it. If we're just a good person, I'm always up to collaborating with anyone. It doesn't mean it has to be a big YouTuber or anything like that. That honestly doesn't matter to me at all. And I've actually done this Philippines. You'll see a couple of videos with just regular people that don't have big followings or anything like that, that are just great people. Alan, I find it weird. What the fuck, YouTube? Okay. Not sure what that. What's your favorite food? Oh man, ramen is my heart and soul. I love ramen so much. I am a sucker for pork. Anything pulled pork related, I am a nut for. Fresh fruit, exotic fruit. But yeah, I'd have to say ramen. So this brings me to the other point, and a few people asked. There's a million questions on here, and I wish I had more time. I'm gonna actually probably write all these up, some question and answers from most popular questions, and put them on the site touristitalian.com. Hopefully that helps. We're at an hour now, and I feel like I've just been talking. Hopefully you guys have stuck around and have liked it. How do I afford to fund my travels? Check out the video about how I make money. Brian, greetings from Buffalo. All right. Love to see somebody from Buffalo on. Do you ever find or been in a relationship during your past travels? All right, this is, do I say that right? All right, this is a popular question. Well, I'll finish with this. Are you single? Have you been in a relationship? Do you get into relationships when you travel? How do you develop relationships? How do you maintain relationships? And I want to answer this way. So how can I put this the nicest way possible? There's a lot of YouTubers on that are considered travel YouTubers that feature their relationship, which is great. And sometimes, for example, recently I have researched a place, a destination, and I saw on the title of this place is, the location's name and things to do in this place, or something like that. And then I go and I watch the video, and the whole video is about this guy and his girlfriend just sitting in a hotel room, the majority of the video. And then I see other videos where it's just clickbait about relationships, and we broke up and we got back together and I can't believe it. And then what did she say? And then he said, and all these clickbaitable relationship things. And these are supposedly travel videos. Nothing against them. That's how they choose to develop their YouTube channel. And I get it. It is very popular. Being in a relationship is a popular thing, and people want to get in on that, the drama of being dating in relationships. But that is not the goal of this channel. And I'm sorry if that bothers people that I'm not more open about that. But my goal is to not show my personal relationships with the female, with a girlfriend, until I'm perhaps married, or until I have a very strong foundation and understanding that this is the person that I'll be with. And I say this for this reason. Many years ago, I was posting stuff on touristitalian.com about relationships and dating and things like that. I have a post on there, 69 lessons learned from Latin lovers, and a lot of different information that I've developed from dating. And just they're fun posts, cheeky posts that I've just done for fun before anybody was actually watching. And my mother said to me once, you realize that one day your wife is going to watch all these things, or your wife is going to read all these things. And I thought about that a lot. I thought, if I was married and I saw my wife's YouTube channel and it was all just like this guy and this other guy and all these people, I would start to not like that. I wouldn't love that. So at the risk of not developing my YouTube channel fast enough by not adding these clickbait relationship goals and all this kind of stuff on there, I have decided to keep that separate and have that more of a private thing in my life. And I hope you guys can understand and respect that. So I don't talk about relationships on here. My entire goal of this channel is to inspire you guys to travel deeper and to get out of your comfort zone, take a leap, and go out there and travel and experience the world, meet new people, have relationships, and really travel in an authentic way, different from the backpacker trails or different from the Bali villas or the standard places that everybody goes to, and just to go out and have a conversation with locals and to be a part of a local community and respect a local place for what it's worth, and not just go to a place as a background for whatever you're doing, to go and to actually respect a local place. And that's not to say that people can't do a great job of creating YouTube travel videos with their significant other. Kristen and Sia have done this tremendously. They do this all the time. They create great video content. Drew Binsky, a good friend and daily YouTuber and Facebook video maker, he does this a great job, and he takes his girlfriend with him everywhere. Samuel and Audrey, they do a great job. There's a bunch of people that really do a great job of creating travel content. So that's not for everybody. That's not including everyone. I'm just saying, for me personally, I choose to keep that separate because I want the main feature of my videos to be about the place and not about me. I want to be a part of the story and telling that story and my experience within a place, not using a place as a background to my own personal things or whatever is going on. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you understand where I'm coming from on that one. It's 1 hour now, and I wanted to end with that one because obviously it's a pretty popular question. But I hope you guys like this. Let me see if there's anything else here. See, friends, I can't sleep. I'm back. Judy's back. All right. Maldives. We just want to know if you're single. I get it. Travel inside USA. Yes. Travel deeper. Click. Yes. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate that. Maldives, absolutely, for sure. How are you, Jeff? I'm good. Thanks, man. Thank you. All right. I hope you got Maldives. Yes, Maldives is definitely on the list. If there's anything else you guys want, I can do another one of these at some point. I hope that answers some of your questions. I know that there's a bunch more from Instagram I haven't gotten to, but I wanted to do these live ones first. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the 100K. My balloon up here, I should probably bring that back to the house I took it from. And 100K subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you guys do. Coming up next is the Iceland series, a few videos from that, and then the huge Philippines series and a few other videos sprinkled in along the way. I want to do a how to start a travel blog video for you guys, and then also a lot more content coming to the touristitania.com site. I'm actually redesigning the whole thing to make it easier for you guys to find more information. Saudi Arabia for sure, Jeff. All right, thanks, Jeff. Back to Australia, absolutely. Thanks, Jake. Wait, let me see if I have. All right, if there's anything else, we'll wrap it up here. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Call it quits. Yeah, that's it. Let's close it out. All right, see you guys next time. I'll see you guys next Friday. New video. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it.